Hi everyone. So we have been discussing object-oriented program system, right? So we discussed about class, we discussed about object. Yesterday we discussed about object intro, right? So we covered what is meant by object, what is meant by reference variable, and some question and where it is stored. After that, okay, constructor will discuss after some while. Before that, let me explain one important point regarding this reference variables, right? Suppose employee is my class name. All are able to see my screen, right? All are able to see the screen. Yeah. Okay. My voice is clear, right? Okay. Just checking. Nice. Okay. Okay. Confirming that. Okay. So, what I'm trying to make a point here, I want to give some important points regarding reference variable. Suppose class name is employee. We have to start class name always with uppercase, nothing but capital letter. We know this thing. After this, suppose let me write public static void main method string square braces and arcs. After that, open braces open bracket for the main method, closing. Class body open, close. Now, how to create object for a class with the new keyword, new class name parenthesis equal to otherwise object reference variable, here class name. This is the syntax for the object creation, right? Now see, now this is how we have to create object for the class. Suppose employee. What is my class name here? Employee. Oh, class keyword, and let me write access modifier as public. We can access anywhere this class because of public access modifier. Suppose public, let me copy this one, I'll paste over here, and class name employee. This is how we have to create the object for the class. So class name employee, class name and object reference. Okay, let me write reference variable. Okay, now what I have to do in the real time, what they will do, suppose in this method, in this class they have some members. Let me write members, nothing but variables and methods. Let me write one method, void m1. This is one method have body, again void m2, it has some body. Oh sorry, not semicolon is abstract class, abstract method. Okay, class some members, here two methods available, m1 method and m2 method. This is the members of this class. Clear? Now how to access this one? With the reference variable. Let me write object reference variable. Let me take as a search. Search is my reference variable. Otherwise you can take anything. It might be search, it might be book, pen, you can take anything. Clear? Now with the object only, search dot, we have to invoke this method. Why? Because if it is a non-static, that's why search dot m1, then we can invoke this one. If it is a return type, suppose void place I will take integer, then it is returning something, the some value it is returning. Suppose 67 it is returning, then we have to, what I have to do, equal to, we have to give one variable. Let me take number is one variable. After that it is which type? Data type. Why? Because of it is a whole number. Simple. If in case it is a return type is void, if return type is something, it is returning some data. If it is not returning, simply take object reference dot m2, that's it, and close this one, and it will go inside method. It will call whatever the logic here, it will come. Clear? This is without returning, this is return method with return type, method without return type. Clear? First what I done here, what I have done, class created, open braces, close braces, again two methods, m1 method, m2 method. After that one main method, bracket open, bracket close. Again I created object for the class. After that it has two type of methods, one is return type, one is non-return type. Return type method, non-return type method. Return type method is, it is returning integer, that's why equal to one variable data type. After that method without return type, simply object name dot empty. Clear? Now what I have to do, suppose these two methods I want to use in another class. Suppose this is employee 1. Let me write class employee 2, open braces, close braces. Again public static void main method, string, square braces, args, body method body, open, close. This is okay, this is second class, this is first class. Let me write first class, this is second class. Clear? Now I want to use these methods. They wrote some n number of lines. I don't rewrite in my employee 2. What I have to do? I have to create object. For what? Employee class. Just create object in the main method. Simply this method. Just to copy paste this one. This is the object for, this is object creation for employee first class. I don't create object for employee 2 class. If you create object for employee, nothing but first class, these members I can access happily in my employee 2 class without rewriting. And we have to import. Now if you come to the object topic, this is what object reference value, this is class. Now let me tell something. This process we know. Now let me remove this thing. So what is here? This is the first class object. Let me write, let me copy this one, let me paste over here. This is what? First class object creation. Clear? First class, class identifier and their object creation. Now what I will do, I want to access these members in second class. I have object. Same I will write again, class employee 2 bracket open bracket close, again public static void main string square braces arcs method body open method body close. Now this is we know. Now what I will do, okay, now what I will do, I don't take like this. I don't take like this. I will remove the public static main method also. I will create one method. What is void? What can I create? Get child is my method name. User defined method name. Generally we know method. In the method we have to give the arguments. Parameters. Integer a. This is called arguments. Arguments. Where we have to pass the. This is a parameter. Sorry. Parameters. This is in the method we are giving primitive type. Primitive data type and their variable, and we have to pass the values, right? For that purpose we have to create object search dot, what is my method name? Get child. See, observe this one. Whenever you write the method name, it should be camel case. G start with lower case. Get. Immediately followed by next word all we have to give the camel case. I mean uppercase. Small case, get completed. Another word start with uppercase. This is how we have to give the naming conventions in any way. Suppose let me write any predefined class. Okay, it's not there. Okay, let me write one system.out.println. Let me go to the system class. Let me show how the naming convention for the methods. See now, method name. This is not method name. Okay, see now, set out. Set out is one method name. How they wrote? S is small case, O is the uppercase. Clear? This is how we have to write methods in camel case. But class always we start with uppercase. Uppercase for the class. This is very, very important thing. Class always start with uppercase system. But method, see now set in. Method start with lower case. Immediately in is uppercase. In the in I is uppercase. Clear? I also followed here. G is the small letter, C is the capital letter. Okay. Now child. Then it will invoke this one, and we have to give here what arguments. We have to give here. Let me give integer a, so I should give only whole number. Yeah, I should give here whole number. This thing we know. Then it will go to the this primitive type, and here something logic. It will perform and it will give the, if you give the sys out, it will print. This thing we know. Now what I will do, I don't give this one. I will remove this one. I will remove this one. In this method, okay, in this method, I created object for this one. New employee class, right? First class object. This is the first class object. Instead of giving primitive type, I will give reference variable. Let me remove this one. This is object, right? Let me remove this one. Dot search. In place of, okay, I will give this one, semicolon. This is called reference. This one, this is the data type. Employee is the one class name, but we will consider as a data type, like integer A. So what is here integer? Integer is a data type, variable A. Same as employee is the data type, like integer. Surge is the variable A. Now let me remove this one. Let me copy this class name data type, employee data type variable, and I will give here. Observe this one. I am giving in the parameters data type as a class name, reference variable. Where it is coming? From the class 1. Class 1, employee, surge, new employee. I don't give this all one. I will give search and data type. I am giving directly here. Then what is the use? Without creating the object, you take the search, copy, search dot get child. You can use like this also. This is the real-time scenario. I mean, not real-time scenario, like in the real time they will use like this. They will take first class object. In that object they will take object reference and data type. They will take these two and they will give in the method like this, and they will access these methods. What is the methods available in the employee class? M1 and M2. They will write, not get child. They will access M1 and what is that? M2. This is how real time they will use the one class members. Simply they will take data type, data type as employee, nothing but class name, reference variable. They will give in the method. This is method, right? In the method they will pass class name, reference variable. Then we can access first class members. Clear? Now what will happen actually? Suppose, let me take one thing as a class as employee, open braces, immediately close brace. Now integer E number and string E name. We know this is the declaration part, and let me write initialization part also. Equal to 1010 is the employee ID number. Employee number equal to, let me give name as a some HK, otherwise RK, Ram Krishna, someone. Okay. After that some methods. Now this is how we have to create the class. After that I created object for this class. Oh, this is heavy. Okay, what can I create the class? We know how to create the class. Class name, employee is my class name, FEE. After that, reference variable, let me write emp equal to with a new keyword. After that, emplo, open braces, close braces. Okay, this is my class. I created object. Now what will happen here? See, this is the, okay, let me take this one. No, not this one. Let me take the right one. Oh, not this one. Okay, in this, so let me write, what is my reference variable name? EMP. After that, it has some address. 1010 is address. After that, I gave some details. It will store in the heap memory. Then let me write E number as 1010 is the E number, and E name something RK. Now what will happen here? See, this is class. I created object. This is the reference variable. Reference variable has address. 1010 is address. Now it will point into two variables. Then whatever the data is here of a person, otherwise employee, this employee details we can access. These employee details we can access by using reference variable. How? E dot non-static variable, non-static methods. This is how execution will flow. Clear? In the real time also they will give, they will give reference variable, this EMP they will give, and class name. In the method name, in the braces they will give class name as a data type and this reference variable EMP. They will give reference variable and they will give class name. Then they will access these methods and variables. So we must treat this employee as a data type, like a byte, integer, long. So using the name as an employee, we can create the variables for the starting employee object references. So if you create object, if you create the reference variable, it will point out to address. Right? This address 1010, it will point out to address, this reference variable EMP. Then it will point out to data. Then like that we can access the members of the class. Clear? Now clear this concept, right? This is the class name and the reference variable. This is from first class. They will give this one. Then we can access these members. Clear? If suppose employee is the user defined nothing but I gave this name. Suppose I can give any name. User defined nothing but I will give Serge also. They are developers. Okay. Mahesh. Mahesh is the identifier. Actually, developers, they don't know who is Mahesh. That is called user defined. But developers developed some classes. That is nothing but scanner class, system class, right? These are all called not user defined. These are all called predefined. These are all called predefined. Already they developed this one. They have some methods. Nothing but next line, next boolean, right? These are all methods already available in the scanner class. Available in the java.util package dot scanner. Okay, java.util packet. Sorry, not packet, scan package. In the java.util package, this is scanner class available. In the scanner class, all methods I can access in my user defined class. This is called code reusability. Clear? Now, what is the benefit here? Someone will give, not like scanner, someone will give predefined class here. And they will give SC. Then with the SC, they can use methods available in the predefined class. Understood? I hope it's clear. SC dot next boolean. These are all methods available in the scanner. They gave scanner in the method in the parameter. So in the method they will give predefined classes. Then we can access the methods with the object reference. Clear? Then this is the very important point. In the real time also they will give the predefined classes in the parenthesis like this. In this parenthesis they will give class name, reference variable. Then with the reference variable SC they will access the methods. These methods available in this scanner. This is already predefined. Clear? This is about important points regarding reference variable. Now we will start the today's topic. Constructor. Constructor in a Java. What is meant by constructor? Nothing but in a Java, constructor is a one method, special method. Okay, it is a one special method that is used to initialize the object. It has the same name as the class and does not have return type. Even void return type also not there. Clear? Now let me write. Okay. Constructors. Constructors in a Java. So what is meant by constructor in a Java? Nothing but constructor is a one, it is one special method. It is a special method. What is the syntax for the method? Access modifier, Let me write am, nothing but stands for access modifier. Okay, let me write public. Public, return type is void. Return type and method name. Let me write get child. Get child is the method name, parenthesis. Method has the body. Right? In this logic. But what is meant by constructor? Constructor is a one special method. Same as the method only. Same as the method. It doesn't have return type and it is the same name as a class name. Let me write demo is my class name. Open braces, close braces, demo is my class name. Constructor has same name as the class name. Demo is my class name. So constructor also same name as class. Demo is my class name. Constructor also same. This is called constructor. Constructor in a Java. This is class. And it doesn't have a return type. Even void also not available for the constructor. Clear? So, if you come to the syntax, what is the syntax for the constructor? Class name, braces, oh method, right? This is the method, that's why it has parentheses and some variables. So class name. This is called constructor of the class. It will allow public. If it is a public, whatever the class name, they will access. Whatever the access modifier, it will access. Suppose if you remove this public, Java will add default access modifier to the constructor. Clear? If you remove the access modifier, but class has a public. If you remove the access modifier, Java will add the default access modifier. Default access modifier to constructor. Clear? Now let me go to the slide. So Java is a constructor, is a special method used to initialize the object. It has the same name as the class name and it doesn't have the return type. Even void also not acceptable. So class name, constructor I created here, class name. Green color, consider class name is a class name itself. I wrote a class name, initialize the code. Now we have two types in the constructor. In a Java, it will support two types of constructor. One is the default constructor, one is the parameterized constructor. So what is meant by default constructor? Access modifier same as the access modifier of the class. Right? I wrote here actually. So this is a class. Under this line, this is a demo is my class. What is access modifier of that demo? Public. So same as the public is the access modifier of the class. For the constructor also public, and class name same as to the constructor. So what is the next point? If you don't write constructor, Java creates a default constructor for you. Okay, yeah, I will explain at the time of code this point. So default constructor access modifier are the default public. Private and product are not allowed in the default constructor. Okay, for the default constructor in a Java, public and default, only these two access modifier are allowed. Private or protector not allowed for the default constructor. But we can add private also, but we cannot able to create object for the next class. Okay, I will explain at the time of code. So this is the default constructor. Let me go to the coding part. Let me remove the system. Okay, it's this. Okay, let me create one class. The package, already I have package name as com.demo.constructor has created. Let me write, what can I write, class name? So okay, demo 1, this is my first class, demo 1, public static void main, finish this, I will finish. So I have to create one object, I have to create one constructor. So what is the constructor syntax for the default constructor syntax? It has the access modifier as a class name, public is the access modifier of demo class. Assume this is, let me write class 1 comma default constructor example. Class 1 demo 1 default constructor example. So I am writing default constructor. Public demo 1 is class name same as the class name. Constructor has same name as a class name. Parenthesis, this is called default constructor. Let me write this out something. Let me write one statement. This out. What can I write? Default executing. Okay, and annotations. See now, method open close, class open close, and public static void method, public static void main method, and one constructor. Constructor has the same name as the class name. First point, same name as the access modifier. Second point, no return type, even though it is a method. Even void also not acceptable. I wrote one statement, but this is called default constructor. I generally, how methods will execute? If it is a static, it will execute by, if you call the, we have to invoke with the class name. If it is a non-static, we have to create object, we have to invoke that one. These are all the fundamentals. Now, let me create object for class. What is my class name? Demo 1. Demo 1. Now, let me write the reference variable as D. Copy this one. Let me talk about important point here. This is class name, reference variable equal to new keyword. This is the constructor call, default constructor call. This is a default constructor call. See here, demo1 is the default constructor call. I didn't take this D to call this method. Let me save this one. Let me run as application, run as Java application. It will print on the console default constructor executing. Clear? Default constructor will call at the time of object creation only. I created object for the class, then only this default constructor will execute. Clear? This is one point. So, if you remove public, who will add this access modifier? Java will add. Default access modifier it will add, and it will print on the console as it is. Now, one more point. I have a question. I have one question. Let me write. What is that? Let me go to the slide. We can declare the constructor as a private. Can we declare constructor as a private? Then answer is yes, we can declare constructor as a private so that other class programmer cannot create object for our class. What does that mean? Means suppose this is my constructor. Now current state is it is a default constructor. Even though we have to give the access modifier as a class name. For your demonstrate purpose, I removed the public. It's a default Java created. Now, but the rule is here, private and protected not allowed. If you give the private, what will happen here? Save this one. This is class 1. Now let me create the second class in the same package. Let me write here, what is this class name? Demo1. Let me write demo2 for your understanding purpose. Demo2, public static void main method. Right. Observe this one. Let me minimize this thing. Now see this one. This is same. Class 1, default constructor example. This is class 2, default constructor example only. Now demo1, type is demo1. See now it is showing error. In the 7th line it is showing error. Change the visibility of the demo1, nothing but first class, 3rd line. I'm explaining 6th line followed by class 1 first line. Class 1 3rd line. First point 6th line I'm explaining. In the 6th line it is showing the error. Change the visibility of demo1. Then see the 3rd line. This one top. Demo1. Demo1 is the 3rd line. Class 1. It is not visible in a second class. Why? Because of constructor is a private. That is the point. Clear? If you remove the private access modifier into the constructor, then save this one. Demo is not visible. Let me save this one. Let me refresh. What is this? Save all. See now, error gone. If it is a private constructor, we cannot create object for the demo2 class. That is the point here. Yes, we can declare the constructor as a private, right? We can declare, but in the second class, in this second class, we can't. In the another class programmer, okay, programmer nothing but he will create one class, cannot create the object our class. This second programmer cannot create object for first class. That is the point. Clear? I hope it's clear what is meant by parameters constructor and parameter constructor and this. If you give the access, if you give the private to that, just a second. Okay. If you give the private, we can give the private, but we cannot able to access this class. We cannot create the object for first class. Clear? Now, let me go to the next thing. What is that? Non-parameterized method is done. How to invoke also done. Now, parameterized constructor. Why? Because of it is the same as a method. Clear? Now, let me create one more class. SRC, right click, new. Let me create one class, name as a demo one. This is, okay, let me write sample one. We take public static void main method. Let me, okay, let me remove these comments. Now I want to create this is sample one. I'll show it. Oh, it's in default. Okay. Let me delete. Oh no. Let me delete this one. It's added in the default package. Let me sample one is. Let me delete this one. Yes. Continue. Now let me create class in one package. Class sample one, public static void main method, hit finish. Okay, let me remove the comments. Now let me write one constructor. Constructor public, same access modifier as a class. Class has public. I will take public. Class name sample one. I want to demonstrate the constructor. This is default constructor we know. Now I want to explain parameterized default constructor. Now integer A, primitive data type. Let me take integer I comma integer B. Okay, space. Now here let me take integer length and integer something B. Now in the constructor L length equal to L comma okay, let me write A, let me assign to A let's see its length no this one. Now B equal to B. Save this one. This is the parameterized constructor, right? This is one constructor, same name as a this is one method, same name as a class name, no return type, same name as a access modifier. Here I gave some parameters. integer A, integer B, and I took some non-static variables. Now I have to pass the parameters. I have nothing but arguments I have to pass. For that purpose, whenever you create the object for the class, then it will get memory. Let me write it's a parameter. Parameter less, that's it. Now it is showing the error because of as I told here method. Oh, it's removed. Okay, as same name as same as the methods parameters, we have to pass the arguments for the constructor. It is asking that integer A, integer B values in the constructor call. Let me go to this one, add arguments to match the sample one. If you hit this one, here B, in the place of variable, let me give 1. This one, let me give 1. Save this one. Then these arguments in the object creation, it will hand over to constructor A. In the A, it will store 1. In the B, okay, let me take here 4. This 4 will hand over to B. Then it will go inside 1. It will store inside the A. In the A, it will store 1. In the B, it will store 4. 4. Here also 4. Now, if you invoke dot let me write one method. Okay, I gave this one just simply. Let me write sort A. Let me save this one. Let me run 1. Copy this one. Let me write here. Let me write what is the variable I assigned. I want to know B. Let me 4. Clear? This is how we have to write the parameterized method. I will explain again. This is a class 1, sample 1, and example for the parameterized constructor. Parameterized constructor. Why? In this constructor, I took a parameters, integer A, integer B. How to pass the variables? Through the object. Through the object only we have to pass, not through the method. Clear? This is a little difference. Suppose method means, let me explain that also. Suppose let me write method void get height. This is method, but not same as a class name. What is my class name? Sample 1. Class name, but this is not a method. This is not a constructor. This is a method, and it has the return type also. This is actually method with parameters. Nothing but parameterized method. If you give here integer C comma integer V, now let me write here integer D equal to C plus V. Simple coding. This is method. This is method with parameter. This is constructor with parameter. See now, this is the key point here. I want to pass the argument for this method. How to pass? With the object reference I want to invoke. Dot method name. What is my method name? Get high. Get high. See now, here we have to pass the arguments with the object reference. Let me write 10 v variable. So here the v variable. Let me write here 10. Save this one. It will return. It will store in the D. Let me write sysout. Sysout D. Okay, I'll write here D. Let me write sysout D. Method parameters. Where is the method parameters? Okay. This out. Let me write here some segregation line. Constructor parameters. Clear? For your segregation purpose, I wrote like this. Now let me run this code. Constructor parameters, where we have to pass through the object. From 7th line to 4th line is a constructor. Parameter is constructor. First it will execute. After that, I am passing 1 and 4. It will go here and it will store here and it will print 1 and 4. After that, I am calling in the 27th line method. In this method, where we have to give the arguments in the method, not in the object. This is the difference, okay? That's it. Arguments for the method. Arguments for the constructor. I hope this is clear. We have to give here arguments for the constructor in the object creation. We have to pass the arguments in the method name. High, get high is the method name. This is the difference. So that is about constructor in a Java. Syntax, two types, default constructor and parameterized constructor. Clear? That's it about today class. Okay, next class we'll discuss about inheritance concept. Okay, that's it about today, guys. Bye bye. Stop.